Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net. It's Sunday the 31st of January. Thanks again for watching. If you do want us to send you an email when this forecast is updated, just pop across an email to generalweather-subscribe at weatherweb.net and we will add you onto our list. Don't worry, there's no spam or anything rubbish like that sent through to you, just notification when the forecasts here are updated. Now, a feature in The Guardian today has been doing the rounds on Twitter and on Facebook. It's this idea of a weather forecast for the next 5 years from the Met Office, talking about predicting a general upward trend in temperature, possibly interrupted by La Nina during 2017. Now, that's all very fine and well. You know, the Met Office get up to this occasionally. They send out these longer range climate predictions from their climate model. What I did want to take up on this story is this little bit just here, where we're talking about the effect of the current El Nino. So it's that line that's just in there, where the representative for the Met Office talks about having El Ninos before 1997-98 was particularly intense. Remember, I pointed out 97-98 several times, saying that yes, it was an El Nino event, but there are so many other unsimilarities to the 97-98 event. Remember that before winter, people were just going straight into it, saying, well, this is what happened after the 97-98 event, and actually what we've seen doesn't tie up. What's actually happened was far more what I was saying, which was that it was the pattern of temperature before our El Nino this year that tells us more about what would happen during the winter, rather than looking back at previous El Ninos, so just running with what was said there. However, what it then says is, nevertheless, global temperatures were less than they were in 2015, and that's because background heating caused by increasing carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere are higher today than they were in 1997-1998. Now, that bit there about background heating caused by CO2 levels in the atmosphere, that statement is either very worrying because of the increase in carbon dioxide, that it's that detectable and it's having such a major impact on temperature, or it's said carelessly. And I think we're just going to be very, very careful when we're making statements like that. Now, as you know, I kind of sit on the fence a little bit of climate change, but I'm increasingly getting into the anthropogenic climate change and basically we're causing it side of the debate. And this increase in CO2 is certainly one that's worrying. But I don't think we can make definitive statements such as that is because background heating caused by increased CO2 levels in the atmosphere are higher than they were in 97-98. There is truth in the facts. This is the CO2 from Mauna Loa, maintained by NOAA. And what this is showing us basically is the increase in CO2. Now, if you just look here, week beginning January 24th, we were 403 parts per million CO2 in the atmosphere. The weekly value from 10 years ago is 381, so it has risen significantly. I think when we're looking at CO2, the thing that we need to watch for is this weekly value from a year ago was 400, now it's 403. There seems to have been an acceleration in the amount of CO2 going out into the atmosphere. Now, that may well back up the statement made here from the Met Office. If it does, and if that is the case, and we are indeed seeing such an increase in CO2, and let me just show you that map. That is the global monthly mean CO2, which shows the upward trend in amounts here. And it appears that we're seeing an increased growth rate now. If we are really seeing that growth rate, and that's tying in with warming temperatures, that is extremely worrying indeed. But I just think we need to be very, very careful with making statements like that. That's probably the most worrying statement I've seen on climate change ever. And if that is the case, and we really are going down that route, that's something we need to be very, very worried about. But as I say, it's a flippant statement. It could be a flippant statement. And if it is, then it's something that needs to be perhaps retracted or explained in more detail. It would be interesting to know which one of those two it actually is. If it's true, that's extremely worrying. Okay, looking a little bit further ahead. CFS is quite an interesting one for February, bringing us in with westerly flow. This is the CFS forecast for the coming week, and notice here the westerly flow, low than normal heights up towards the north, higher than normal down towards the south. As we've already said, up and down temperatures during the course of the coming week. 7th till the 13th of February is interesting now, putting centre of low heights over the top of us. Deep trough through the UK as well. Cooler conditions coming in, look, on that north or northwesterly flow, tying in with our ideas, and I think it would be later on in the week, much later on in the week, towards the weekend, that any cooler weather eventually got through. Weeks 3 and 4 looking like this. This is the 14th to the 20th, and we stay with the idea of an increased west-to-west, northwesterly flow. Now, increasingly it's looking like it's Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northern England that would see cooler weather with a risk of some snow, but it could be that that snow does get further south, and certainly that's what we're advising private clients just at the moment. And then for the final week of the month, 21st to the 27th, very little changes actually. Starting to feed in more warm air into the system here, so probably not quite so cold, but still pretty chilly across the country. Now, this isn't cold as in below normal temperatures cold, it's cold compared to what we have experienced recently. Now, as far as temperatures are concerned, this is what the CFS tries to do. For week 1, it gets us in milder conditions apart from across Scotland, look. Week 2, so that's this coming week. Week 2, 7th till the 13th, actually gets Scotland and Northern Ireland in cooler than average conditions. Keeps the south in mostly average conditions. And then weeks 3 and week 4, week 3 gets into cooler conditions. Week 4 getting us back into the milder conditions once again as those westerly winds return. So this idea of a month dominated by westerly flow and unsettled weather is one that the CFS now goes for quite heavily. As far as rainfall is concerned, wettest in week 1 across Scotland and across Northern England, Northern Ireland. Week 2, wet everywhere. That's exactly what you'd expect with that trough. So certainly looks like we're heading into a wetter week next week. And then mid-month, the wettest across northern and western Scotland, elsewhere generally normal, and then going wetter again towards the end of the month. So it seems that the CFS is coming round to our ideas for February. I'm going to try and get you more detail on the February forecast tomorrow, once private clients have had a chance to ingest it. And this is the sort of stuff that will be available to you first as well via the premium site. More on that very, very, very shortly. Okay, I'm going to leave you with that for now, but whatever you're doing, thanks again for watching. Have a great day, keep the sun shining, and bye for now.